We are cutting across live to Singapore, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi is leading the delegation-level talks there. Remember, it's the second day of this all-important visit. Here you can see him visiting the Semiconductor facility of AEM Holdings Ltd with the Prime Minister of Singapore. Let me take this across to my colleague Siddhant, who is joining us on the broadcast. Siddhant, is a very strategic visit after the Prime Minister was in Brunei. He is now currently in Singapore. And remember, this comes within days of Lawrence Wong becoming the new Prime Minister of Singapore. So that becomes even more significant.
Absolutely. This is the first term of Lawrence Wong as the Prime Minister of Singapore. When he was the Deputy Prime Minister, he did visit India in the year 2022. If I'm not mistaken. But right now, let's talk about the visuals that we are cutting live for our viewers on our screen. Prime Minister Modi is at AEM Semiconductor facility in Singapore, along with Prime Minister Lawrence Wong. Perhaps this morning, both countries have signed an MOU. The exchange of MOU has taken place between the two countries. In semiconductor ecosystem partnership. Now, Singapore has been doing semiconductor from last 20 years. They are the pioneer in this ecosystem, and this is perhaps the reason that India wants Singapore, or perhaps some of the companies from the Singapore, to come and invest in the Indian semiconductor ecosystem, and that is perhaps the Prime Minister Modi's vision. In fact, in past also, India had signed MOUs, agreements with various countries as far as semiconductor is concerned, including United States of America. India is also doing things with Taiwan and other Southeast Asian partners. But since Singapore is also one of the pioneers in the semiconductor sector, and this is the reason that this morning there's an exchange of MOU signed between the two sides, and now we are cutting across the visuals of Prime Minister Modi visiting a semiconductor facility in Singapore with Prime Minister Lawrence Wong. One could expect huge investment in the form of facility building or in some other form will take place between the two countries. The cooperation will take place between the two countries in years to come. And this is the thrust of Prime Minister Modi's visit to Singapore this time around. Now, if you look at the agreements that have been signed, then cooperation in the field of digital technology,
yes,
semiconductor cooperation in the field of health and medicine, educational cooperation, skill development. But the thrust and the most important component of Prime Minister Modi's visit is the partnership in the semiconductor ecosystem. And this is the reason that he has gone to a facility in Singapore, and we have been told that it is an AEM holding facility. Prime Minister will have a look of how semiconductor ecosystem works in Singapore, and in what all areas India can collaborate with Singapore.
Absolutely. And also very important, Siddhant, that cooperation has been sought when it is about manpower skilling within the semiconductor industry. That also becomes very significant. But let's actually take a look at this tweet that was put out by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And I'm quoting from that tweet. I look forward to my discussions to deepen our strategic partnership with Singapore, particularly in new and emerging areas of advanced manufacturing, digitalization and sustainable development. Once again, Siddhant, the push on digitalization, that remains a key focus area and has always been for the Prime Minister.
Well, absolutely. Look, Prime Minister Modi's focus has always been on cutting-edge technology, AI, quantum computing, semiconductor. Now, if I take you back maybe 5 years back, then there were many experts, geopolitical experts, those who used to have this opinion that India, which has a population of 140 crore people, has got so many responsibility, welfare schemes going on, won't be able to set up a semiconductor facility, because semiconductor facility requires a lot of funds, a lot of investments, and a lot of enhanced infrastructure, logistics. But Prime Minister Modi proved all of them wrong by launching the semiconductor vision for India. In fact, India has entered an agreement with the United States. India is doing semiconductor ecosystem with Taiwan. India is doing with the other players as well. India is doing cutting-edge technology. India is doing AI, quantum computing. So all these niche sector focus area, which one would have never thought of India doing maybe 5 years, 10 years before, is now turning into a reality. And that is only because of the push that Prime Minister Modi has given to these sectors, and the priority that Prime Minister Modi has given to these sectors, these domains in last 5 years. And Singapore, his visit to Singapore, as I pointed out earlier, that the main component is the partnership in the semiconductor ecosystem.
Absolutely.
And India is eagerly looking for a collaboration with Singapore.
Absolutely. Siddhant, thank you so much. In fact, let's leave it at that. We will keep revisiting the story and an all-important visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi while he is in Singapore. But right now, we're shifting our focus to this next piece of